कानेभिः शृणुयात् भद्रं पश्येम अक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यसेमा देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नः तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथा राये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् योध्यस्म जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नमवुक्तिं विधेम ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ आब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसि जायताम् आराष्ट्रे राजन्यः शूरैषव्यो दिव्याधि महारथो जायताम् दुग्ध्री धेनुः ओढानड्वान् आसुसप्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णुरथेष्ठा सभेयो युवा अस्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामे नः पर्जन्यो वर्षतु फलवत्यो न ओषधयः पच्यन्ताम् योगक्षेमो नः कल्पेताम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मामा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनिरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So happy today we are just with the Taittiriya Samhita, which has been presented to us by the Tittari Rishis, the Sishyas of Vaisampayana, and they are the students of the Vaisampayana Maharshi, to whom Brahmadeva has initiated and given the knowledge of Yajurveda. Therefore, Vaisampayana is a big family, and therefore we have got again two recensions for the Sukla Yajurveda. One we call Madhyantina and another is called Kanva, available to us. Otherwise, there are 16 recensions of the Sukla Yajurveda and 92 recensions of the Krishna Yajurveda. Among 92 recensions, we have only 4 recensions, and which is popularly available in the tradition in both theory and practice is Taittiriya Samhita. And moreover, we have also got Maitrayani Samhita, which is again a part of another recension of the Krishna Yajurveda. But we have a good knowledgeable and useful practical contribution we find from the Yajurveda, because Yajurveda is known for getting the Swarga and also Moksha. Swargapavargada anta. Yeah, and also it is said that Swarga Kamo Yajeta. So anybody who wants to have a better life, better region, and a permanence in the Brahma Loka or Satya Loka, whatever, no return, one has to do Yagnam. And Yagna has been defined in various forms, and ultimately Yagna itself is a Paramatma, and that is Vishnu. So Yagno vai Vishnu. And therefore, he has all that sambharas, all that equipment or that connected to yajna in his own self. Therefore, while worshipping the yajna, you are worshipping the Vishnu and all that. That's why. And we have got so many sacrifices. 12 major sacrifices are there in Yajurveda, and out of them, and each one of them have got some auxiliary rites, many of them. So as a result, the Yajna Kanda or Yajna section of the Vedic world is itself a wonderful one, but it is there is a science around about it. There is mysticism. There is a lot of so the word sacrifice or yajna is not just the dictionary meaning, edge to worship, but it is able to provide us a lot of benefits. Among so many advantages that the worship can provide. That's why archayantaha, archana, puja, yajna, aradhana, homa, havanam, and these are all some of the important things which will have a different mode, and which will have the short, longer duration to complete it. So we are now in the Soma Yajna formulas. So if you say perform Yajna, we should want some formulas or yajus or slokas or something like that, who is addressed in that, whose qualities are mentioned, and from whom we want a kind of benefit. So that's why it said that yajna. And in order to perform yajna, I have been telling that we should have the dravya sekarana, devatahvana, and dravya tyaga. These are the three main items in yajna. So in the Soma sacrifice, that is Soma Yajna, there is otherwise also called Agnishtoma. Before that, we have got Darsha Purnamasa Yajna, then we have had Agnihotra. Now the order is that Soma Yaga, and after Soma Yaga, we have got Vajapeya, Rajasuya, then Agnichayana, then then Sautramani Yajna, and afterwards we have got Aswamedha Yaga, and again we have got Purushamedha Yaga, Yajna, and ultimately it merges into Sarvamedha. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವರ್ ಹೈಲಿ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಯಜ್ಞಂ. And yajna is a physical gymnasium where there is a lot of exertion of the body, mind, and many other factors are there. So it is not easy to perform anything, to organize. So we have gone through the various required stages in performing the yajna, I mean Soma Yaga, Agnishtoma, and now we are in the fifth Prapataka of Prathama Kanda of Taittiriya Samhita, and the third section of that. Therefore, we can from here, before all the 1, 2 are all Brahmanas. So they are all called so Taittiriya Samhita is admixed with the Brahmana and Samhita. That's why that's one of the characteristics which distinguishes says the Krishna Yajurveda from Shukla Yajurveda. But in Shukla Yajurveda, Brahmana is separate, mantra is separate. But however, in Agnishtoma, here what we have done, we have just tried to please the Yagnashala, acquire all the Yajna Sambharas, and also we have Yajna Sambhara, and we have got to pick up the Yupa Sthapana, and for that you go to a tree, cut the branch of the tree quite sturdy and necessary for the Yupa, and that's why all these things are very much ceremoniously done. And afterwards, we had to purchase the Somavalli or Soma leaves. And they used to, because it's a long drawn process, plenitude of in quantity, the Soma rasa has got to be prepared. So there are studies done largely in our Vedic world, Vedic research on Soma, and not only India, not only in Bharat, but also outside India, we have people who have dwelled on the Soma, the preparation of Soma rasa, the offering of the Soma rasa to so many, and how where it is. It's a big subject. However, we have also seen so we don't have the preparation mode, but it is the tradition there. So they prepare, they purchase Somavalli, they remove the leaves, they have that kind of pounding the leaves to juices, and all this process is there. That's why we have got grava, the pressing stones, and we have got Samantra, Samidhani, and all that. And again, afterwards, when you cut it, when you worship the tree from which you want to take a branch of the tree for the purpose of your yajna, you have to make a puja. Puja to that tree, and then bring that branch of the tree, and yupa it is called. That is, and samskara is done, and then it is planted in the Yajnashala. And so, and again, when once there are so many priests that are assisting the Adhvaryu, and therefore the yajna, as our professor Dr. Shende was often repeating, it is a sambhuya samutthana. What is yajna? It is a samutthana. It is upholding a collective activity together, but with the cooperation of XYZ. There should be manpower, money power, and social support, and there should be patrons, there should be support, sponsors. Oh, so many things involved whenever you plan for performing yajna. Probably you are seeing when every month we are going to have Saundarya Lahari Havana in our Kendra, and so people are gathering, bringing the prasadam, naivedyam, and will be prasadam, and the procedure. So you should see that though we are not physically present, but we are witnessing all that from here. And so you observe so much of thing. In fact, I used, whenever I was there, whenever I will be there, last time also, we will have so many people participating in that. And with all these slokas of Ammavaru, Saundar Lahari, each sloka is a mantra, is a yajus. So after pressing the soma, cauldrons of soma, that's what is said. So there is a cauldron or big vessels, in that they fill up. So for every branch, for every activity contributing for the performance of yajna, there are large number of people. Something like when you go to Ganapati temple or any other temple in Mangalore or in Kerala, there are some Brahmins specially appointed to keep on rubbing and getting out the gandham paste. So because gandha prasadam is highly valuable. In Guruvayur Krishna or in Ganesh temple in Mangalore, Hampengatta is there. And I visited that Hampengatta and I saw a particular corner being allotted to some priests. They keep on preparing the Gandham for the Ishvara and other deities there, or Ganapati, because Gandham, fragrance, is a very important thing. And we cannot simply anoint the Paramatma with the Gandham. You have got Gandhadwaram, Duradharsham, Nityapushtam, Karishinim, Ishwarim, Sarvabhutanam, Tam, Iha Upakvaye, Sriyam, Tam, Sriyam. So when you are having that fragrance, wherever there is fragrance, Amavaru is there, Mahalakshmi is there. And so whenever there is a whenever you keep the Yagnasala spick and span, there is the presence of the Paramatma, and beginning from Ganapati or Vishwaksena, whatever it is, we make primary prayer to all of them, and Ganapati will come sit and watch through the whole show. And these days, I should mention that our Ganapati in Ganapati Sachidananda Ashrama, Krishna Ganapati, yeah, he's our friend, and he has come to our Kendra also, gave a talk, recited mantras, he was honored with Vedastri and all that. So presently, as I see in the Facebook, engaged with all his Sishyas and other people performing the Somayaga. The other day I witnessed the Yupa Puja. Before Yupa Stapana of Yupa Puja is there. Then there is the Prastara, and there is, each one item of the Yajna is being worshipped and honored, and also some formalities are observed. So it is not just bring a branch of the tree and plant and then go with it. No, everything is ceremonial. Everything has got respect to be offered, and the power. Because why that Upastapana, for that we have already noted in the previous sections that it is Agni is there in the trees, but Agni is dormant. So he is all, and Agni present in the trees is highly benefic, and he is not malefic. But if you want to utilize Agni or generate Agni, then this wood is important. Therefore, there is a wonderful prayer to Agni, Asvathe te sate sadanam Agni. O Agni, your sadanam, your dwelling place or bungalow is in the Aswatha or in semi-vruksha. So there are all the things, semi-tree, Aswatha tree, and there are specific Deva Vrukshas. Among Vrukshas also, we have got Deva Vrukshas, and with the Deva Vrukshas, they are being honored, they are respecting, and then we use. So I saw the other day, probably if you go to the YouTube or Facebook, you will get the procedures that have been followed by the Ritviks there, headed by Ganapati, the Vamsi Krishna Ganapati. And actually, these days, these yajnas are almost becoming rare, but they are not completely not there. But there are Mahanubhavas and some organizations who sponsor, who go through all these things. And one other grand example which I witnessed, the Somayaga being performed in Bull Temple Road, Bengaluru, I think in the Maharashtra Kalyana Mandapam ground, large one. They put a lot of pandals, and I forgot that song back. But I happened to also go there, and I know some people, they were very happy to. So I had the opportunity of telling the Sankalpam also in the Homa Yaga. And so Yaga or Yajna or Puja or Tapas are all intended to be performed directed towards the Brahma. So in Mahanarayana Upanishad, you have the important expression. Yenuru Damastapaha. Tapas, what is tapas is Damastapaha, Shamastapaha, Danam Tapaha. Like that, there is a list. And ultimately, it ends to say that Brahma etat, whatever that is directed towards to the appeasement of the Brahma, to the attainment of the Brahma Loka, and that is the tapas. So, tapas is the means, tapas is the goal. Tapasa Brahma Vijigna Tapo Brahmeti. So here, the tapaha is Brahma, tapaha is sadhana. So it's like the yajna itself is a sadhana for yajna. Yajnena yajnamaya janta devaha. So ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು when we sit in the Yajurveda class or Yajurveda auditorium, not only you have the feast for your eyes, but also for learning, and wisdom is there. But generally, people, whenever such rites are going on, they are not bothered about the mantras that are uttered by the priests or purohits and ritviks. They go little, for example, Vivaha Karma. Then Vivaha Samskara is going on, or Upanaya Samskara. And it is said that whenever Satyanarayana Puja or Vivaha Samskara or, Upanayana are done, even though you are not invited, you are supposed to attend and see that, because these are the transformatory. So transformatory shows where a man gets punyam and elevation. What is punyam? Punyam is elevation, and papam is the downfall. So with all this introduction today, I don't know why at all. So I just wanted to acquaint with the information regarding Somayaga. Though not we are able to do it, at least if you come to note down the contents of the performance or method of performance of Somayaga, or the items that go through Somayaga, it is itself a great boon and blessing. The last Sunday we have had a wonderful presentation on Arunaketuka Agni Chayanam or Havana. Every year, which is being performed in Sanjay Nagar at the Ganesha temple by a group of people headed by that Venkatrama Shastri, whom I know very well, and he came to, and we honored him also with Vedastri, and still. So they are all the highly oriented in the tradition, Vedic tradition. So still it is live. Something like our Saundar Lahari in our Nadaveda Adhyayana Kendra, Ganapati Homa, Navagraha Homa, Saundar Lahari Homa is live per month. So with all this introduction, let us go to the section. First Kanda, 7 Kandas are there. First Kanda, 5th Prapataka, and 3rd Kandika we are going. First 2 Kandikas are Brahmanas, and it's only telling about the story, how at all the gods were always confronting the Rakshasas, but gods were able to win over the Rakshasas ordinarily, and see that Rakshasas are driven away and they perform sacrifice. So as we noted, the black speck in the moon is deemed to be, according to Yajurveda, a portion of land that has been stolen or that has been taken away and deposited in Chandramandala, in Chandra, so that if Bhumandala is not at all possible occupied by the Rakshasas, then the gods can go perform there and then become strong and able to exist. So this is how that's called emergency measure. If at all any casualty were to be there, then the casualty ward like that, because yajna can be performed only on Bhubhagam. Bhumi is the source on which the yajnas could be performed. Similarly, Bhumi is the base on which water could be there. All rivers have underneath Bhumi. All oceans underneath they got bhumi. So whatever material or things, matter you feel in it, the ground is the bhumi. Even see, even if you want to raise flat constructions, so many flats, so many buildings, so many things, you have the prayer or use of the earth. That's why bhumi is described to be mata, prithvi mataha, and jauhu pita. And Akasha is the father, and Bhumi is the mother. So Akasha is Akashad Vayuhu. So from Akasha, many more things are all coming. Anyway, so with that, 1531, just last class, we just opened this particular Kandika, but we did not go for the knowing it. So we have recited also. Then I'll just read and then tell you how the Bhumi is being honored. Otherwise, without making prayer to Bhumi, we cannot start. So, Yagnashaladalli or the Devata ಆರಾಧನಾ ಮಾಡೋ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಶುದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಶುದ್ಧಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಶುದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಮೋಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಜನರಲಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇವಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ದಿ ಯಂಗ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ನೋ. They used to mix the cow dung in the water and use that cow dung water for suddhi. And that cow dung is a very antibiotic. It just destroys all seen and unseen, visible and invisible bacteria, and see that the whole area will be fragrant and all that. So still in villages we see, but they love to be. In fact, I want to tell you, to Suddhi of the ground or the floor, Sita Devi, she's a princess. When she accompanied Rama, Lakshmana to the forest, in the forest, Lakshmana in Balakanda, no, in Ayodhya Kanda, you get the reference, or in Aranyakanda, when Lakshmana built a kutiram, Pakashala for Rama to stay, he would stay outside, not inside. So, for the Bhusuddhi, Sita Devi has taken the cow dung, mixed in the water, and she with her own hands tried to spread the ground of the Parnasala inside, and afterwards she put Rangoli and made necessary preparation for the Gruha Pravesham ceremony. ಆ ಪರ್ಷನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ that's why Ramayana is so globally famous for long years. ಯಾವತ್ ಸ್ಥಾಸ್ಯಂತಿ ಗಿರಯಃ ಪರ್ವತಾಶ್ಚ ನದ್ಯಃ ಚ ತಾವತ್ ಸ್ಥಾಸ್ಯತಿ ರಾಮಾಯಣಂ ಲೋಕೆ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಭೂಸುದ್ಧಿ. ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಆ ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಂ ಭೂಮಿ ಭೂಮ್ನಾ ಜೌಹು ವರಿಣಾ ಅಂತರಿಕ್ಷಂ ಮಹಿತ್ವಾ ಉಪಸ್ಥೇತೆ ದೇವಿ ಅದಿತೆ ಅಗ್ನಿಂ ಅನ್ನದಾದ್ಯಾಯ ಆದಧೇ. So look at the planning, execution, how you are doing. So before you do any act in Yajurveda, you have to educate the audience and also the deities. The deities also must know what is being done for them and for that. So that is the procedure. Supposing a surgeon just to brings the patient and operates and opens the body, the patient is not happy. He doesn't know what is going on his body. But it is mandatory for a good surgeon to inform the patient that this is the problem, this is how we are doing, and these are all the benefits, these are all the cautions that you have to do after surgery, post-operative care. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಕಲ್ಚರ್. ಸೊ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವರ್ಡ್ ಭೂಮಿ? ಭೂಮ್ನ ಭೂಮಿ. It is called as Bhumi because of its wideness, because of its width and length. ತುಂಬ ವಿಶಾಲವಾಗಿದೆ ಭೂಮಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಇನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸಿಟೀಸ್. ಸ್ಟೇರ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಆ ಸ್ಟೇರ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಿರಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮೆಷಿನು ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡುವ ಮಹಾನುಭಾವರು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ನೋ ಇನ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ shopping mall complex, there were so many people getting on with typewriter and Xerox machine and so on. Andre artha enu? The bhumi is so wide, bhumna, that it will give livelihood for one and all. So bhumihi bhumna. And how about the akasham? Akasha, see, ಆಕಾಶ ಶರೀರಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಈಶ್ವರ ಆರ್ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಇನ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಈಸ್ ಆಕಾಶ, ಆ್ಯಸ್ ವೈಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ ಆಕಾಶಂ. ಕೆನ್ ಯು ಮಿನಿಮೈಸ್ ದಿ ಆಕಾಶಂ? ನೋ. ಬಟ್ ಆಕಾಶ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್, very much important. There is akasha inside our body, not the limbs inside the body or parts of the body are not overlapping or very much grazing each other, etc. There is always the space for bulging. So the doctors observing the sounds, they say that there is a liver expansion or heart expansion, heart contraction. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ there are all health problems and treatment has to be given. So in this, whenever heart and brain does not get proper circulation, it is difficult because the space is important everywhere. That's why Jauhu Varina. Today, I got the news we should stand in respect, in silence also internally, that the most best contributor, supporter, and a scholar, a scientist who has also contributed large number of articles presented in our Veda Ganga volumes since long time, and also given programs, all that one of the great gentlemen, supporters, Dr. G.B. Ghare, and with this, so he used to come to us all the way somewhere. They will stay far away from the place. But he used to come to our Kendra and our programs and attend all that. That Ghare has passed away yesterday. Actually, this news came to me from Delhi. That one Aparna has communicated. Probably, I don't know whether she has put in Nadaveda group also. But anyway, we stand in silence and respect for Ghare. May he have the Brahmaloka, Shaswata Brahmaloka Vaptirastu. So though he is a scientist, well known, he had heart problem. The blood circulation, blood flow to brain was not much. There were clots. Ultimately, after 10 days of hospitalization, he died in Bangalore. So as I spoke to her, his wife, she was so much giving information. So I mean to say that Jauhu Varina ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠತ್ವ is important, Varina, and at the same time, it is very much also illimitable fringes. You cannot see the end. So that space, that's why Jauhu Pita and Antariksham Mahitva. See, Antariksham Mahitva andre, the Vayudeva is there filling up the in-between space between heaven and earth. So, Vayudeva is very important. Agni is very important. Surya is very important, because of whom only we are able to exist. We are able to get on with that. So, Pranam, Vayu is called that Jau contains what? Antariksham Mahitva andre, What is the Mahimanvitam Vastu? Vayu. That's why we always say, Namaste Vayo, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami, Ritam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami, Tanmam Avatu Vaktaram. This is at the beginning of the Upanishad. And at the end, when once we have done with that, then we may acknowledge thanks, out of thanks to Vayudeva. Om ಅಲ್ಲೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ನಮಸ್ತೆ ವಾಯೋ ತ್ವಮೇವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಸಿ ತ್ವಮೇವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವದಿಷ್ಯ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಮವಾದಿಶಂ. So we have already declared that you are unmatching Brahma. And you are, and we have promised also, Rutamavadisham, Satyamavadisham. We have completely stick to the discipline of uttering Rutam, uttering Satyam. So tan mamavatu tad vaktaramavatu. So O Vayudeva, you protect me and my Guru and my people. So that is the spirit of the Veda. So antariksham mahitva. And again, who is this Devi Aditi? Aditi Devi. Aditi andre pain free. Diti means pain. Aditi means no pain. That is highly compassionate, helping, and powerful. That's why Aditi Putraha are called Aditeyaha. And Diti Putraha are called as Daityaha. So both are the wives of Kasyapa Prajapati, but it all depends upon the choice. And but though they are cousin brothers like Kauravas and Pandavas, but they are at daggerheads. Why? Because the Danavas are jealous of Devas. The Kauravas were jealous of Pandavas. So there is another representation in Mahabharatam that the jealous or Asuya or the Asha, Bhuka Akasha, Bhukansha, etc., made people to have a war, brothers coming in war. And to accepting the war of the brothers, the daughters-in-law of the family are agreeing, Kunti and Gandhari. So, in truth, what is Mahabharata war? It is a war between two daughters-in-laws. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಡಾಟರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಲಾ ಸೋ ಲಾಂಗ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕೋಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಅತ್ತ ಮಾಮ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಮ್ಮ ನಾನ್ನ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸೇಫ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಡಾಗರ್ ಹೆಡ್ಸ್, ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್. ದ ಕಾಂಟೆಂಪರರಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸೀಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ all daughters-in-laws nowadays, people are getting mostly or more than 35 years or so. So for convenience, the marriages are being taken place, not only in the localization or it is international marriages. Anyway, so here, Devi Aditi, Amma, Devi Aditi, Aditi Devi, Bhudevi is called Aditi. She does not feel any pain at all. ನೀವು ಏನನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ, you may dig the earth, you may build on that, you may spit on that, but one condition, Aruna Prashna gives you, you can spit on the ground. Ammavaru is so tolerant, but water is not like that. So they say that now I'm just cutting the stone. Na nishthivet. So in the water, you never should throw it out. Na vivasanasnayat. And in that list yesterday it was recited, and one should not spit into the water. But you can spit into earth or other thing, but not into water. In America, you cannot spit on the ground also. If at all, when you are carrying, you should do some other measure. So they would always keep one bag when you travel in the air, or when you are in a restaurant or elsewhere. They will have kept one bag. Into that only you should try to get out. So that is the discipline. That any and everywhere, no spitting is right. Na nishthivet, na ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಲೈನ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಿತೆ ದೇವಿ ತೇವುಪಸ್ಥೆ ಅಗ್ನಿಂ ಅಗ್ನಿಂ ಅನ್ನದಂ ಅಗ್ನಿಂ ಆದಧೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ವರ್ಬ್ ಈಸ್ ಆದಧೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್. ಸೊ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಶರೀರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಟಾಲರೇಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೇನೋ? ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಆದರೆ ಭೂದೇವಿ ಈಸ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್, that Aditi, she is called, that she can tolerate even fire on her, or water on her, or spitting on her, or digging on her, etc., etc. So that's why, first of all, primarily, we make a prayer to Aditi Devi, Agnim. And what kind of Agni you are depositing? Not any and every kind of Agni. The other day, our Prabhakargaru has shown to you so many Agnis, but among so many Agnis, Arunaketuka Agni is supreme. Kamagnim Chindvanaha, Arunaketukamagnim, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಅಗ್ನಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾಚಿಕೇತಮಗ್ನಿಂ ಚಿನ್ವಾನಃ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷೇಣ ಕಮಗ್ನಿಂ ಚಿನುತೆ ಶಿಷ್ಟಕೃತಗ್ನಿಂ ಚಿನ್ವಾನಃ ಕಮಗ್ನಿಂ ಚಿನುತೆ. ಈ ತರಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಗ್ನಿಗಳ ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ Agni is like Sivalingam. When you go to Narmada Nadi Thiram North, the Sivalinga is there, but you call it Omkareswar. When you go to Ujjaini, Sivalinga is there, you call it as Mahakala. When you go to Trayambakeswara, Mahakala, and then Visveswara, Lingam. So Linga is only one, but you are giving some attributes to the characterizing the Linga, and Paramatma Ishvara becomes all that. Ishana Sarvavidyanam, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Brahma, Adhipati Brahma. That ಏನಾಗತ್ತಂದರೆ, you can call it a Mrutyunjaya Linga, or Mahakala Linga, or in Gokarnadalli ಅದೊಂದು ಲಿಂಗ. So you have got all everywhere, Murudeswar, and like that we have hundreds of names being given to the same. In the same manner, Agni is, who is Shiva? Agni. ಅರುಣೌತ ಬಭ್ರಸ್ಸು ಮಂಗಲಃ ಅಂತ ರುದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ರುದ್ರೋ ಅಗ್ನಿ, ಅಗ್ನಿ, ಸೂರ್ಯ ಅಗ್ನಿ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಮೋರವರ್, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನದಂ, ಅಗ್ನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಫುಡ್. ವಿಥೌಟ್ ಅಗ್ನಿ, no food, no taste, no prosperity, no going to heaven. And Agni is the only one person who is capable of taking us to heights of life. So that's why in Agni Aradhana we say one important, Agni Naka, Agnaye Naka Yaswaha. So Agni is Naka Yaswaha. Naka Loka is Swargaloka. So he is able to reach up, higher up, and higher lokas beyond all anybody. That means he is able to convey your ahutis to all gods. Therefore, annadam, agnim, annadam. ಅನ್ನದ ಅಗ್ನಿಯನ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಅನ್ನಾದ್ಯಾಯ. ಈ ಭೂಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅನ್ನ ಬೇಕು. ಅನ್ನ ಅಂದರೆ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯಂ, ಅನ್ನ ಅಂದರೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಂ, ಅನ್ನ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಲೈಫ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಮಂತ್ರಂ, ಅಗ್ನೇ ಅನ್ನಪತೆ ಅನ್ನಸ್ಯ ನೋಧೇಹಿ ಅನಮೀವಸ್ಯ ಶಿಷ್ಮಣಃ ಪ್ರಪ್ರದಾತಾರಂ ತಾರಿಷಂ ಶನ್ನೋ ಅಸ್ತು ದ್ವಿಪದೇಶಂ ಚತುಷ್ಪದೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಗ್ನಿದಿಂದ ಅನ್ನ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. And Agni, even gods also depend upon fire, because all the dravyas that is put in the home are taking their names, respective names of various gods. They all get the taste for the pudding or offering that you, because of the admixture with the taste, with the tuppa. So it is a chemical reaction. So any ahuti, though physical, but when offered into the fire becomes chemical. So chemical reaction. And in fact, our Veda, Venkatarama Shastri Garu, He's actually physics and chemistry professor, and he has written an article talking about the chemical reaction of the articles that we offer to God. And that article has been published in our Veda Ganga. I don't remember the volume, but that's why our Veda Ganga is a Bible, or in other words, is a very sourceful or miscellaneous knowledge from various branches of learning, because there are astrologers, palmists, and scientists, there are doctors, engineers, business people, all people have contributed their respective articles and they have also given presentation. So I wish that you should not miss our monthly two programs, Stotra Bodha and monthly meet, Sundarakanda next waiting. So here, Annadam, Annadhyaya, Adadhe. Adadhe is that depositing. You are going to place Agni with some purpose. And you are telling also ಅಮ್ಮವಾರು, ಅಮ್ಮ ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಅಗ್ನಿ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂದರೆ ಅವನು ನಮಗೆ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನಪತಿ, ಅನ್ನಾಯ. ಸೊ ಇವನ್ ರುದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಅನ್ನಾನಾಂ ಪತಯೇ ನಮೋ ನಮಃ. ಸೊ ಅನ್ನಾನಾಂ ಪತಯೇ ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಅನ್ನಾಭಿಷೇಕ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಶಿವನಿಗೆ. So Annabhisheka also is very well liked by that, because he is the overlord of the Annam. So Adadhe. And next we come to the mantra Ayangauhu Krishnihi Akramit Dasanan Mataram Punaha Pitaram Chaprayan Suvaha. So the Gauhu, Ayangauhu, and in the Suvaha, this is able to lift us or give a lift for us to go to the heavens. And Trimsad Trigumsad Dhama Virajati Vakpatanga Yasistriye Pratyasya Vaha Jubhihi Asya Pranat Aprasya Pranat Apanati Antasarati Rochana Vyakhyan Mahishaha Suvaha Yatva. All this information in a commentary way is found in Mahanarayana Upanishad. So Mahanarayana Upanishad is a commentary to many of the mantras. Not only Mahanarayana Upanishad has given explanations or commentary to some of the Yajurveda mantras or Rigveda mantras, it itself has also given you mantras. For example, Aghamarshana Suktam. When you take bath or when you give bath to Paramatma, Aghamarshana Sukta is recited. So even in Venkatramana Swami temple ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೈತ್ರಿಯ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತಿಂದ ಅಭಿಷೇಕ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, not always with Rudram. And they use also some of the suktas from Mahanarayana Upanishad and other Upanishads, and they make Abhishekam to Venkatramana Swami. I have not attended that, but I have attended some Abhishekam monthly. Once they do it first Sunday or so in temples here. So you observe that here in the last line, Pranad apanati antascharati rochana. ಈ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಪಾನೌ ಮಾಹಾಸಿಷ್ಟಂ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಪ್ರಾಣಾಪಾನೌ ಮಾಹಾಸಿಷ್ಟಂ ಮಧುಮನಿಷ್ಯೇ ಮಧುಜನಿಷ್ಯೇ ಮಧುವಕ್ಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ಮಧುವದಿಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ಮಧುಮತೀಂ ದೇವೇಭ್ಯೋ ವಾಚಮುದ್ಯಾಸಕುಂ ಶುಶ್ರೂಷೇಣ್ಯಾಂ ಮನುಷ್ಯೇಭ್ಯಸ್ತಂ ಮಾ ದೇವಾಃ ಅವಂತು ಶೋಭಾಯೈ ಪಿತರೋನುಮದಂತು. So ಈ ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜಲ್ಲಿ, this is the wonderful passage coming to you in Chamakam as the conclusion part of the submission of our desires going more than 600. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಶ್ಚರತಿ ರೋಚನ ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಈ ಅಗ್ನಿ ದೀಪ ಜ್ವರದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಪ್ರಾಣಶಕ್ತಿ. ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣಶಕ್ತಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ತನಕ, ಪಂಚಪ್ರಾಣಗಳು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ತನಕ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವ್, ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಜೀವಿ ಆಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದಿ ಅರ್ತ್. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಣಶಕ್ತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋದರೆ ಆಟೋಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕಲಿ ಲೀಡರ್ ಇದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಹಾರಾಜ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸೈನ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓಡೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದಿ ಅಪಾನ ವ್ಯಾನ ಉದಾನ ಸಮಾನ ಆ ವಾಯುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಲೋ ಆಗಿ ವಿತಿನ್ 24 hours ದ ಬಾಡಿ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಎ ಡಬ್ಬಾ. Then it is taken to the burning or burying. Just like the computer or mobile that you buy at first, it's also only a tin, a dabba. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರು ಅದು ಇದು ತುಂಬಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯು ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ. ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎ ಕಂಟೈನರ್, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್. ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಆರ್ದ್ರಂ ಜ್ವಲತಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರಹಮಸ್ಮಿ ಯೋಹಮಸ್ಮಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಹಮಸ್ಮಿ ಅಹಮೇವ ತ್ವಾಂ ಜುಹೋಮಿ ಸ್ವಾಹ ಅಕಾರ್ಯಕಾರ್ಯವಕೈರ್ಣಿ ಸ್ಮಹನೋಪನಿಷತ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆರ್ದ್ರಂ ಜ್ವಲತಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ. ಆ ಜ್ವಲತಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಈಸ್ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಮಹಾನಾರಾಯಣ, ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅಗ್ನಿ. ಆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕು. ಆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಪೂಜಾದಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಎ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಯೋಗಿಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್. ಇವಾಗ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಾಪನಾ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಗಣಪತಿ ವಿಗ್ರಹ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ನೀವು ಶ್ರಾವಣ ಭಾದ್ರಪದ ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂಗಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಣ್ಣಿಂದ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿರುವ ವಿಗ್ರಹವನ್ನು ಮನೆಗೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠೆ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದಿರೋರು ಯಾರೂ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀಯ ಗಣಪತಿಯನ್ನು ಅಂತ. ಬೆಲೆಗೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೇವರು ಅಂತ ಕಿವಿಗೆ ಕೈಗಳು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಗುಂಜಲು ತೀಸಿ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ. ಆರ್ದ್ರಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ will be instilled or installed into the vigraham, and that vigraha becomes a deity hovering, and that prana, the prana shakti of Paramatma, and that prana we have got to protect, and God himself protects it. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಅಹಮೇವಾಹಂ ಮಾಂ ಜುಹೋಮಿ ಸ್ವಾಹ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾನೇ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಂದರೆ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ಪ್ರೇಯರ್ ಟು ಅಗ್ನಿ ಇನ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಮ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಾತ್ ಅಪಾನತಿ ಅಂತಹ ಚರತಿ ರೋಚನ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಂ, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಣ, he is able to move all nook and corner inside our body. ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರಾಣಶಕ್ತಿ. ಅದು ಯಾವ ಬೆರಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಇದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಚೀವ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಲೈಟ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು bring that either press the button, light switch. How? Not necessarily to the pointer or middle or this or anything press from your part of your body, it will just give you light. That is how the computer alli kuda you need just if you press anywhere that cursor ತಗೊಂಡೋದ್ರೆ the website opens. So ಆ ತರಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಣದಿಂದ ಅಪಾನತ್ವಂ, ಅಪಾನ ಅಂದರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್. ಪ್ರಾಣ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಹೇಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಪಾನ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೇಲ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಪಾನಗಳು ಸಮಾನವಾಗಿ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ರೋಚನ. ರೋಚಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾಂತಿ, ಬ್ರೈಟ್ನೆಸ್, ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪರಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪುಣ್ಯ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್, ಈ ಕೆಲವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮದುವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ರೋಚನೋ ರೋಚಮಾನ ಅಂತ, ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಅಂತ ಆ ಮಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೋ ಪುರೋಹಿತ. ಬೇರೆ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳೇ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಒಂದು ಮದುವೆಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದು ಹೋದೆ, ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅಟರಿಂಗ್ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ಲಿ ರೋಚನೋ ರೋಚಮಾನ. ಇಬ್ಬರು ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿಗೆ ವಧು ಬರೋಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಾರ ಹಾಕುವಾಗ ಕೂಡ ರೋಚನೋ ರೋಚಮಾನ ಅಂತ ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಹಾರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಏನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಎನಿವೇ, ಸೊ ಮೈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಣದಿಂದ ಅಪಾನಂ. And apana inside our body, prana inside our body, moves every nook and corner of our body and makes the body living, breathing, and also active. And again, so vyakshyan mahishaha suvaha yatvanta. So I again explain this particular passage next class. Other than that, see, next one is this 1532 is Kriddhaha Parovapam Manyuna Edavatya Sukalpam Agne Tattava Punaha Tadvipayamasi. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಸೆಡ್ ಅಗ್ನಿರ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಅಗ್ನಿಯನ್ನು ವಿವಿಧವಾಗಿ ವರ್ಣನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ತೋತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಯಜುರ್ವೇದ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಗ್ನಿರ್ವೈ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಗ್ನಿನ ಅಂತ. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಿ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸೋಮಯಾಗ, ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಖಂಡಿಕಾ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. 5 or 6. So 6 kandikas will complete the 5th Prapataka. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know. The 5th Prapataka, so that we are having a large number of formulas with application, prayoga, and it occupies a number of days. Because you cannot perform the Somayaga in one day. It takes 7 days or 21 days or something like that. Depends upon something like earlier days, marriage was, Vivaha Samskara was given to the bride and bridegroom for 16 days. Even today we do 16 Pandaga ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. 16ನೇ ದಿವಸದ ಹಬ್ಬ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ 16ನೇ ದಿವಸ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಒರಿಜಿನಲಿ ವೆನ್ ದಿ ವಿವಾಹ ಕಲ್ಪ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ಡ್, ಇಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಫಾರ್ 16 days. And in fact, I know people who is very orthodox, when the father of the boy asked the bride father to do for 16 days, then they said, no sir, we can't do it. And ultimately they came to have the vivaha ceremony for 8 days. 8 ದಿವಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ನಾನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವನಾಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಐ ವಿಟ್ನೆಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಣವನ್ನು, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು, ನಮ್ಮ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು, ನಮ್ಮ ಅವರನ್ನು, ಪ್ರಪಂಚವನ್ನು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಜ್ಞ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಬಿ ಆಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಲ್, ಆಸ್ ಶೇಕ್ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಕುಡ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಓಂ ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿ.
ಇವತ್ತು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ನಂಬರು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಂಡ, 5th ಪ್ರಪಾಠಕ, 3rd ಖಂಡಿಕ. I will put you next time onwards.
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಮಂತ್ರ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶಾಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಏನು. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಮಂತ್ರ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ pass on to the other thing. I cannot, because we should, the very purpose of our Yajurveda Taittiriya Kendra and also learning the Veda Pathas, that at least minimum whatever could be physical, that's what is called Pratiyamana Artha, dictionary meaning. ಆದರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾದರೆ ಏನು ಈ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಥರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಟಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯಾಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದೇರ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಯಜುರ್ವೇದ ಮಂತ್ರಾಸ್ ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ. ನೋ, ಬಟ್ there are Vattabhaskara and so many Skandaswami, so many commentators are there. They bring to light the actually Veda Prakasha ಅಥವಾ ವೇದಕ್ಕೆ ಭಾಷಾ ಹೇಳೋದು, ಮಂತ್ರ ಅದು ಅರ್ಥ ಹೇಳೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಈಸಿ. mere MA Sanskrit cannot explain a Vedic mantra. He may explain Sanskrit sloka, but difficult to explain. Thanks to our gurus in Pune 3-4 years, and until long we were in touch with Dr. Kashikar, who died in 1994. I submitted my thesis in 1968. So ಆವಾಗಿಂದ ಅಂದರೆ 65-60 ಆವಾಗಿಂದ ಪಾಪ ಆ ಗುರುಗಳು, he was constantly a guide for us, not only for me but also to our guide, our Yajurveda Taittiriya Kendra. He was the person who gave motto. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, and he was the person who said, sir, you please register, you are doing wonderful programs, so you register your Kendra. I did. We all 10 trustees ಹೆಸರಕ್ಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಮಾಡಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಬುಧವಾರ ಕ್ಲಾಸು, ಗುರುವಾರ ಕ್ಲಾಸು ವೇದ ಕ್ಲಾಸೇ, ವಿಷ್ಣು ಸೂಕ್ತ and all this whenever we are collecting. So there are 2 classes spared for the Vedic learning, and 1 class for Upanishadic learning, and 1 class for Purana learning, and 1 class for our moral learning or Bhakti Marga. So this is how we are going on with India. 7 o'clock in the evening, we are doing it. So it's all divine grace. Thank you very much. Now we are in the first, in 2 more there, we'll just conclude it. Om Swasti, Heli Babu.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Vidyankaravavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Satam Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu Shri Vasudeva Arpanamastu Shri Veda Purusha Ashirvadostu Om Shri Matru Charana Arpanamastu Om Tat Sat Hari Om Namaste Guruji.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
So I think, Satish, I'm so